Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Echo Art with Carmella-T. So happy to have you with me, having a cup of coffee with me. This is my favorite time of day to share with you the projects that I'm working on. So with that, if you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel. We create with our recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies. And it's our way to give the earth a little hug back. We work with organic fabrics, which we're going to talk about today. The needle felted bear that I'm just about done with. So just going to do a little needle felting with you for those of you out there who are needle felting. And if you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back. I have definitely taken note of some of the projects that you really like, and for the crocheters out there, there's there's a couple videos now where I'm sharing with you how to increase the size of a crochet hat or how to make it smaller. So that seems to be really super popular. If you have any other questions or areas of crochet that you're struggling with, whether it's the tension of crochet in a certain stitch, and actually there are some, I think the Tunisian stitch is a stitch a lot of people get mixed up on, and so maybe we'll do the Tunisian stitch next. That's a really lovely stitch, and you can work really quick. You can make projects really quickly with that. But let me know if you're interested in that. So this morning, I thought I had to finish this bear because we started this bear some time ago. And so this is the brown bear as he is coming out thus far. And I did share him over on TikTok, so if you want to take a look at the video over there, I talked just a little bit about him. But today with you, I am sharing the completed blanket. I was working on this blanket, and I'll talk to you about that in a moment, over on TikTok for the bear. So now the brown bear, as you know, for those of you needle felt artists, when you're making an animal or whatever structure you're making, it helps to get in your mind's eye, the anatomy, right? Or the structure, the construct of whatever it is you're making. And that helps you to manipulate and shape your needle felting project. So with this particular bear, he needs, the brown bear is in the grizzly family. Okay, and one of the things I found very interesting about this bear, because I would kind of like just put it on YouTube and kind of look at images, and I kept noticing the shape of the face would change just a tiny bit here and there, depending on the type of bear. And it was always a brown bear. So I learned that there is a dished kind of effect. So I'm going to hold this close up, and that means kind of flat here, if you can see it, kind of dished. And that's the terminology that they use. So if you look up, you can go to an actual anatomy, a scientific anatomy of the bear. And I think that helps an awful lot, because that way you'll see very clearly the dished effect. So, and the ears come right in line with the eyes. Now the eyes are a little smaller, I noticed anyway, to me, on the brown bear that I was looking at. Their eyes seemed small. So I was trying to make these a little bit smaller than I make them on the polar bear. And the polar bear, their eyes seem to be bigger to me. Now, in between the shoulder blades, there's a hump. So we're going to work on that today a little bit. And then back here, what I want to do is give this a little bit more symmetry, but I really like the way the back part of this bear came out. Because when a bear waddles, when it walks, that back end is kind of waddling, you know, like that. So I really do like the effect and the way that came out. I have the back legs in motion, and you can't really tell it here. You can kind of see them, they look like they're crossing a little, but they're actually in motion, and I really want even the legs like that. I just want it to be in motion, and I may put it on a little piece of wood or a little rock, flat rock platform, something like that. That's what I'm thinking. But so for now, let me share with you the wool. You know, I keep it in the bags like this because it's nice and easy to see, keeps it nice and secure, and it's much better than keeping, because you could buy this and get it in a really big bag when you buy it off a farm, but keeping it in your little gallon bags, you can see really clearly, and you can I mix the colors. I mean, it's fine. So this right here is the sheep, is the wool of the brown sheep that happens to be matching exactly the variations of brown and beige and red that the brown bear is. So I am first going to, so I'm move my coffee over a little. I'm going to first take the wool I'm working with and I'm going to pull it. This is called splaying. You want to splay it and have it go in different directions. Parts of it may be horizontal, parts of it vertical, parts of it diagonal, and that just helps you immensely. So when you're going to put it in the area you put it, and in this case, we're going to put it, I want the area up here. I want this hump to be just a little higher. So I am going to start needle felting, and I'll try to show you right here. I just put it right on top like that, and I start needle felting. Now as I'm going along, what I do is kind of like a sweeping effect, very gently, of my needle, my needle felting needle. So I'm watching, because I'm doing this freehand, and this bear is 100% wool. There's no cardboard in it, there's no batten filler in it, there's no plastic in it or balloon, you know, anything like that. It's 100% wool. So I just find it much easier to shape and change the construct of whatever I'm working with without armature, you know, without the metal going through it, because you can do it that way too. I don't really know if that helps when you're getting to the external aesthetics of your bear. I believe that takes practice, and with practice, and it doesn't mean years and years of practice. Some people pick it up very, very quickly, and your artistic eye and practice and focusing will help you to get to the point you want to get to, whether you're needle felting, you know, hand sewing, or whatever it is you're doing, So I'm watching this area here. I'm just going to show you right here. And I keep turning it. I want to keep turning it. And I want to think, okay, that also this area, which I started to make a little wider, I want it to be a little wider. I want those shoulders to be melding. I want the hump between the shoulder blades to meld nicely with the legs. And because he's in motion, I keep doing this. Let's see if I can show you. I keep turning him like this, look, because I want him to be like he's going to be in motion, okay? So that just helps me get the perspective of him being in motion. So then I can keep adding the wool. And this is the nice thing. No worries if you think you added too much wool. Really, if you did that, there's a couple things you can do. If you notice it immediately, you can pull that piece off immediately. Just take it off. If it's not 100% needle felted in, it will pull out. If it is 100% needle felted in, you can needle felt to the point where you're actually decreasing a certain area. Okay, you can do that. It will, the more you needle felt and tighten up and lock in those pieces of wool, you will be able to decrease certain areas. I know because I've done it. Now, it doesn't mean that the whole of your project will be smaller, but maybe that certain area you're working in. Okay. Now, and you want to needle felt your whole piece to the point where you have some solidity. In other words, you want it to feel solid. If you can squish it, and this is solid, let me tell you right now, this is solid. But I also did many hours of needle felting. Now I want, and you got to think about too the effect you want. Do you want these, you know, the legs of this grizzly to kind of stand out, or do you want it to kind of meld in with the body? You know, I like them to stand out, and it depends what you want. So, the perspective that you're looking for. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more there, and we're doing all this in real time. So, you know, when you get to the point here where you've got a nice solid piece you're working with, and you're adding your splays, you're focusing on the detail of the areas of this piece that you want to emphasize or de-emphasize. You know you're getting super close to being done. So I'm going to add another, and you notice I'm doing this in little increments, so I'm not adding like a bunch of wool. Even if you added a bunch of wool to make that hump right there, it would take you a little time to do the needle felting. But this, doing it in little splays, I can, now you notice I'm holding this in needle felting, but I also have 30 years experience of this. What I would do for a beginner is lay it down on your pad here, but I'm holding it up to show you. And I'm also keeping my fingers well out, and I'm also not jabbing all the way in, because I know not to, because this is an extremely sharp needle, and it doesn't just hurt for a second, it hurts for a long time if you accidentally jab your fingers. So, okay, I'm going to stand him up here, and that gives me a little perspective. And like I said, sometimes I do a little sweeping effect as I'm going along, because the sweeping effect as I'm going along, you may not be able to tell I'm doing it, but what it does is it just kind of pulls that wool down and helps it to interlock with towards the area you're going. Instead of just jabbing it right where it is, you're splaying it. You're kind of giving it a nice little combing effect and locking it in at the same time. So, okay, so I wanted to share this with you for those needle felters out there. And I'll be going like this for a little bit. And then the other thing I'm doing to shape this beautiful brown bear, who I haven't named yet. But look, okay, see that's starting to, so, and I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, I definitely like the effect it's got up here. I may want to emphasize between the hump right here a little bit, and then the little ear area, you see right here, right there. Okay, the neck basically. And I'll keep turning it to make sure that I have a balance or harmony going in the perspective of him turning. Because you want to also consider that if you're making your, see how much higher that is already? And then I may want to emphasize, like bring this down a little. Let me just do this. So what I was going to say is, as you're turning it and getting your perspective, and as you're deciding what motion or how you want your bear to be moving, you want to consider the body and how it affects it. You know, does it make a certain part of the back end a little bit more over here, a little bit more over there. So that's kind of where I was coming from with this, because I kept, with this leg, I was kind of moving it like that. So I was just kind of going with the natural crease there, that the back part of it would be out just a tiny bit. And then this piece with it, with the leg coming forward, a little bit of the stomach would show. So I am going to even that up just a tiny bit for my own artistic perspective there. And then now his arm here, or his leg here, you can see, I don't know if you can see on the laptop very good, but it's got a little dimension here to it. So I guess that's the word I'm looking for, is dimensions. Now when you do faces, you have dimensions. You have the eyes set in, you have the nose out, and then you have a dimension to the lips and the cheeks, right? There's a lot of dimensions to face. We'll do a face. I have done faces. I've done faces of people, like, so I gave those away a long time ago. I did keep one. I do have one. Oh, I do have a few. I have a few of the Buddha. Yeah, and I think I have shared that with you. And anyway, but yeah, we can always do that again. So anyway, this is the hump. This is how I'm going to be working for the brown bear on this hump. So I'm going. So I really like it where it's at right now, and I'll be working on the curves there a little bit more. And the other part of the, okay, so now the other part of this. So now I'm getting to this, saying, wow, I'm almost done with this bear. Oh, and some of you are probably saying, well, Carmella, you didn't even tell us how you did the face of the bear. Okay, so I did the face by taking a darker piece of wool, okay, teeny tiny little splay it again, and some people will roll it. They'll roll it in a little ball, and then they'll just place it where they want it, like here for his nose, and then just, you know, put it on there and start needle felting. That's how I did the nose, and that's how I did the eyes. Now there's different ways to do the eyes. Some people, I've seen this and I've tried it and I've done it and I didn't like it. Some people will take an embroidery needle like this with a very wide eye. See the wide eye? It's wide. And so the tip is a little blunt, but it's sharp. And they'll take a thick piece of yarn and they'll put it right through where they want the eye, and they'll go straight through. So the eyes will be, they will be even on each side. Now another way to do that and then they just tie a knot or needle felt the wool strand. If your yarn has like at least 60-70% wool, and let's say it's mixed with something else, but it's got at least 60-70%, it will let you most likely needle felt it into the wool. There'll be enough wool fibers in it to hook with these natural wool fibers. Now the other way you could do it is take a pin like this. You take a pin. I actually have a video out on that. And you just put it through where you want the eye, right? And you just set it. And then do it on the other side too. And that gives you a nice visual because the top of the pin lets you just be able to see better. Or you could do it just freehand like I did it. And I think that came out fine. I mean, I'm just looking at it, and the most I did is something like this. Just put your finger, you just want straight line. You'll know immediately if those eyes are not even enough. You will know. But this is a bear on the move. So, anyway, with that, I wanted to share the needle felting part of this. And yes, in the back, I like the way this back part came out. And you can see, actually, it's even more a little curved here than it's appearing on the screen. This is, that's a piece of wool in there, yeah? Is it? Yeah. Sometimes with your wool, especially if you get it off of the farm, you may have a little piece of hay, you may have a little piece of vegetation, but they wash it and it's totally fine. So anyway, now for the crocheters out there, this is the blanket, the saddle blanket that I made. Now when I was doing this, I just kind of put it up against, this is what I did on TikTok. I started it and I just put it up against the bear, and I loved it because it's these are nice earth tones, a dark gray and a nice beige. So I want to see, what does this look like if I put this on my bear? Am I covering up all of the essential parts of the anatomy that I really want to show of this bear? And I'm going to put it on, and I kind of feel like it is. I'm going to be honest with you. This to me covers up, but I mean, you can decide, does it matter to you or not? So it does, either or, whether I put this on or not, guess what? I have an adorable little saddle blanket for my next bear. But I'm going to be honest, I love the color, the tones of the dark gray, and then all I did was go around and do a crochet on the outer edges. But I really love the colors of those against this brown bear. So with that, the anatomy is kind of what I really want to show and what I love. So I may not even put this blanket on when all's said and done. We'll see, because I have a little work to do left on this beautiful bear. Now this bear, for those of you who are crochet, needle felting, this bear is small and way smaller than the polar bears that I've been working on. And now, for businesses out there, absolutely yes, I would, because people have asked me this, and so I don't really say anything on YouTube, but seriously, if a business wanted me to needle felt a bear for them and choose a size, I could do that. I could absolutely, yes, I could do that. Because you don't have to make the bears 10 inches by 10. Okay, so look, this one is 5, and that's right up to the hump here. That's 5 inches high. That's all that is. And right to the nose, about 7. So this is just a lovely, lovely size. Now, as you know, I always emphasize with you that these are not meant to be toys for little tiny children. The reason is these fibers can lift and they can wrap around little fingers, or if they're putting them in their mouth, even worse, cause hazards, and you don't want that. So, so I make these when I put these in a store. I always say that it is not a toy. It is a keepsake, an heirloom, a collectible, an art piece. So anyway, with that, I just like to always add that to those of you who are just learning your needle felting. For those of you who have needle felted a while, you already know. So with that, you have an absolutely beautiful, beautiful day. You have any questions on your needle felting, or you're stuck on something, let me know. I'm happy to help you, or with your crocheting, I'm happy to help. So have a beautiful, beautiful day, and we'll see you soon. Love and light.